Bitcoin and Litecoin update 2019 is going to be epic in my opinion. We're going to take a look at the charts here, guys. We're going to take a look at Litecoin, then we're going to take a look at Bitcoin, then we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin daily chart versus gold weekly chart and see why I believe that we're going to hit 46,000 by the end of the year, in my opinion. So definitely stick around to the end to check that out. But we're going to run through the charts real quick, guys. I do want to remind you, we have a free Discord group. The community is growing so fast. It's awesome community, great group of people. Definitely check it out. Also, there's some other links in the description below. Those are affiliate links that really help the channel out. If you guys want to help support the channel, definitely check those links out. Let's get on with the video and see what's going on. Alright guys, as always, I want to start out by saying I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion and my view of the market only. Anybody that's doing any trading or investing in this market, I suggest you do your own due diligence and your own research, as this market can be extremely volatile and risky. Also, keep in mind, it's still a speculative market. Don't put in more than you're willing to lose. With that being said, if you're new here or you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Hit the subscribe button in the lower right hand side of the screen. That'll get you subscribed to the channel. And then if you tick that little notification bell, that'll notify you when I post new videos, as I do post every day to try to keep everyone updated. Also, guys, smash the likes, leave your comments, let me know what you think. Really appreciate it. All that helps the channel out. So let's look at what's going on here. Looking at Litecoin on the daily, we had been watching this cup and handle, and our target for that cup and handle, guys, is the 180 range. Let me zoom in a little bit. And I still believe we're definitely headed that direction, possibly higher. And I'll show you why here in a minute, but we're going to take a look at these other targets I have here too. I have a rising broadening wedge here. And depending on where we break out is going to depend on where my target is up here. So if we were to break out around right around the 160 area, if we're to break up out of this, then we'd be looking at the $260 range. We could also, just ride this up, and if we were to break out up here around the 180 range, which is my cup and handle target, and if we break above that wedge, then my target's 300. As of right now, that's where I stand with that. So let's go into the daily RSI. And as you can see, we're watching this rising channel, and now we're in a falling channel within the rising channel. I do believe we have room, guys, to pop up. It is possible that we come back down and test the bottom of this channel, but I'm looking more as we're going up. So let's look at the 4 hour. All right, so in the 4 hour, as you can see, we're in this falling channel, and we had a lot going on in here. We had a falling wedge, which we broke up out of, into a falling channel, broke up out of that, into another, up out of that, into another, up out of that, into another. Now, question is, what do we do here? Are we going to come up and test the top of this channel and break through, or are we going to come back down for one more test of the bottom? Which is possible. We're going to look at that in the price. Let's check it out real quick. All right, so I have some other targets in here, guys. I know it looks messy, but follow along and it'll make more sense. So also, along with the yellow rising broadening wedge, we have a blue one within that right here. And these are my support and resistance lines. What I'm looking at here, guys, let's zoom in a little bit and take a look at what happened yesterday when everyone was freaking out. I do believe this is still a valid rising triangle here, a rising wedge, whichever you want to call it. We had what looks to be a bear trap right here, and what a bear trap is we fall out of a formation, and that they try to trick people to sell, and obviously we popped right back in the triangle, and I do believe we're going to remain in here. We're probably going to come up and keep testing the top of this. And eventually, I do believe we are going to break up. But I do want to take a look at the bearish scenario. If we do pop out of this, my target's right around the 123 range, which will line up with the 200 EMA on the 4 hour. And then if we're to break through that, guys, then my next target's the 112 area, which would be the bottom of this rising broadening wedge, the blue one. Now it all depends on where we hit. You know, if we were to come straight directly down right now, it'd be like $107. And if it was to, you know, just ride along here for a while and come up, the higher the target gets, the longer it takes. So keep that in mind. Do want to show you the absolute worst case scenario is the $60 to $61 range. That is my absolute lowest target. I don't see it happening. So, but I do like to take a look at the bearish scenarios so we can, you know, keep an eye on it. So let's look at this rising wedge here. And if we do a measurement of just the rising wedge, just the beginning of it here, then our target is the 168 area. That is definitely possible soon, but we have another measured move of this as a bull flag and this being a flag, or this as a flagpole and this being a bull flag. And if we put our measured move up to where we would break out, that gets us up to our $180 range, guys, which is also our cup and handle target. I do have a higher target looking at this as a longer flagpole and the bull flag, and the measured move off that is the 194, 195 area. Definitely a possibility, because I believe once we break up above this top of the rising broadening wedge here, the yellow line, I believe that's going to become support for us. If you guys watch my channel, you know I'm not big into the halvings and all that stuff, and I don't like follow the news too much. I mean, I do. I like to see what's going on, but I don't believe that really has much to do with what's going on. I believe, show me the charts, I'll tell you the news. We're the last ones to hear about the news, guys. The market reacts before we hear about the news, because the people that know what's going on and the big money know before we'll ever know. Also, I have another target up here, and I don't know why, but I keep losing that measured move, so I'll make another one real quick. And that's looking at this top of this rising broadening wedge and the bottom of the blue broadening wedge, which makes a perfect channel in here. And the measured move off that gets us up to that $217 range, somewhere in there. So anyways, I'm still bullish here. I do believe we're going to continue up. Like I said, worst case, we fall out of here, maybe come down to the 123, which would be our 200 EMA. But I don't see it happening. I think we're going to move up from here, guys. I think it's pretty safe to say. But again, this is only my opinion. Let's look at Bitcoin, which is breaking out right now beautifully. We had this rising broadening wedge in here. And our target for that was a 96, which we hit last week, which was beautiful. Now we have some more targets in here. We're looking at this as a rising wedge. And if we did a measured move just out of the breakout of the channel, I'm sorry, it's not a rising wedge, it is a rising channel. I know some people are calling it a wedge. That is a channel. So we take our measured move to where we broke out. We're looking at least the 1200 to 12,000 to 12,100 range, guys. I do believe obviously we're headed there now. Also, I have a measured move measuring this as the flag pole and this being a flag, and we take a measured move off that. That gets us up to the 12,600 range. I do have also a longer one measuring this whole thing as a flagpole right here. There we go. And that gets us up to the 13.6 range. I'm definitely pretty positive that we're going to hit these targets. This one, there's still a possibility. And what we're going to do is look at the daily RSI. If we look at the daily RSI, you see I have this trend line drawn across the top here. I have a blue one, which were our high peaks over here, which is possible we hit those. If we do, we blow past these ones, and that's going to be a pretty big run, guys. But I do have this line here from these two peaks. Excuse me. And we've been talking about this for a long time, the rising wedge, which we fell out of. And then we came into a falling channel, broke out of that, tested it for support, broke back into the channel. And I believe we're at least headed back up to this line, which would probably be that 12.6 to 13.5 area. let's look at the 4-hour RSI. And as you can see in the 4-hour RSI, we had the same thing, rising channel. We watched forever. We had a rising wedge we broke out of. Came into a falling channel, broke out of that into a, if you look at the white lines, we have a rising wedge. And I have this trend line drawn across the top here, which would indicate that we're forming a rising wedge here. So I do believe if we look in close, we could have a dip here before continuing up. And I do believe this could become a head and shoulders, this being the left shoulder, this being the head, and forming a right. But obviously you can't call that because it hasn't formed. But I definitely see us coming back up to test the top of this rising wedge before coming down. And I know everybody's calling for this huge correction. I don't think it's going to be as big and bad as people think it is, because we are in a parabolic bull market. I've been screaming that forever. If you guys are, another thing I want to mention, don't pay for the paid groups, guys. Don't pay for the YouTubers that try to scare you into buying their shit courses. It's not worth it. You can find everything that they're going to charge you for free. It's just information. It's just learning how to chart. They're not going to teach you how to win millions of dollars. They can't give you 20 years of experience from watching a video. Don't get ripped off, guys. These guys are just totally ripping people off and scaring people away from the space. We need to expose them and have people quit paying these guys. You're paying for their drug habits, their gambling addictions, and whatnot. Most of them probably aren't even really trading. They're just taking your money. So anyways, let's go into the price action and look at what's going on. Obviously, we've popped out of this rising wedge that I've had drawn in here, which I believe to be a bull flag. We've talked about it before. If we're to break down, I believe the top of this channel that we broke out of will become support. And worst case, that's around the 10,300 range. I don't see that happening, but again, guys, anything's possible. And we've already taken a look at our measured moves here, so we know what our up moves is. As in the bearish scenario, we look at the top of that rising broadening wedge that we broke out of here. If we were to come back down and test the top of that, which I'm thinking the longer we go here, the less and less likely that is, but that'd be around the 7,800. I used to have my worst case scenario around the 6,600. Now my worst case scenario is at the 7,000. But again, guys, I don't see that happening. So anyways, that's where I'm at with the targets for Bitcoin. I do want to point out how we broke out of this rising channel. The formation right here, I've showed it in my prior videos. We made the same formation before breaking out of this, and look how big our breakout was. So it is extremely possible we hit this 13.6. And guys, it doesn't mean we go straight up. Obviously, we'll get resistance, most likely around the 12,000, 12,100 range, and maybe build a bull flag, something right here, come back up, and we may bounce around this area for a while before popping up. But keep an eye on it, especially if you guys are charting. Definitely learn your trend lines, get them in there. Join our Discord group. There's a Discord group. There's a bunch of great people in there that help each other out. Awesome group of people. Definitely, especially if you're new and you want somewhere to go, everybody's friendly in there. You're not going to get bashed on. If anybody's bashing anybody, we'll boot them. And we don't have any problems like that in there. It's a great community, growing super fast. So let's look at the Bitcoin daily chart versus the gold weekly chart. This still being my end of the year target, and I think I'm being conservative on that, to be honest, but it's 46,000 to 47,000, and I'll show you why in a minute. This is the Bitcoin daily chart, and I believe in formations, guys. And if you take a look at this formation, and then we'll go over and take a look at the Bitcoin daily chart, or the gold weekly chart. And if we just click back and forth, you can see the resemblance. Definitely the pattern we're running now. I do believe that Bitcoin is a digital gold, and this is obviously real gold, and this is way faster. I know gold is on the weekly, but a pattern's a pattern, guys, and it is following it perfectly. Gold moved a lot slower. It's a lot more money, a lot harder to move the market. There's a lot less money in Bitcoin, so it's a little easier to move. Plus, we have the internet now, social media, everything in that, looking at that stuff. So I had this line drawn in here, this trend line from Well, first of all, let's look at this one here where we, in the bear market, this blue line acted as support. And once we broke through that, I don't believe that we're coming back down to it. But that would be my worst case scenario. Come back and retest this around the 66 to 7,000 range. But I think it's less and less likely now. Big time, guys. I have this was resistance here in the bear market. Or I'm sorry, support. And we've broken that line. If you watch my last few videos, I said if we closed above that, we were in good shape. I do believe this will probably become our new support, guys. As of right now, it's around the 10.8 range. So we may never see a $10,000 Bitcoin again. Just to let you know, yeah, these big corrections people are calling for and saying this is an ABC correction and all that crap. I don't believe it. Don't get caught up in the hype, guys, and don't get caught up in all the analysts and YouTuber guys that just follow each other and say the same thing. One says one thing and then they're all saying the same thing. I do my own analysis. I don't go off of anybody else. If you belong to the Discord, you know how I am. So anyways, now we're going to look at how Bitcoin bottomed out. You can see we had 2 touches on this bottom trend line before obviously going parabolic. If we look at the gold chart, and I think we're about right here in this pattern. So look at the gold chart, it bottomed out the exact same way. 2 touches on this bottom before going parabolic. Guys, it doesn't get much easier than that. So let's look at the RSI on the weekly. By the way, let's take a look at that weekly chart. That is absolutely amazing. If anybody says, you know, we're not bullish, they got issues, and I do not think this is a fake rally. I believe this is going to be epic, and we're going to make this look like a pin drop. Anyways, let's look at the weekly RSI. So on weekly RSI, this is 2013 bull market followed by the bear market. I've drawn this trend line in, and mind you guys, we've been watching this gold chart versus Bitcoin chart since January on this channel. So anyways, we had 2 touches of resistance on this trend line before breaking through, beginning the bull market. This is 2017 bull market followed by the 18 bear market. Same trend line, same angle. 2 points of resistance before breaking through and beginning the bull market. We are in a bull market, guys. We are in a parabolic bull market. Let's look at the monthly RSI. You see I have the 2 arcs drawn in here. 2013 bull market followed by the bear market. Each one of these arrows represents a new low in the RSI. We had 4 of them before starting the bull market. 2017 bull market followed by the bear market. Each one of these arrows represents a new low in the RSI, and we started the bull market. Only difference is, guys, I believe this one is going to be a lot quicker. Probably quicker than that. Anyways, that's where I'm at with that, guys. If you enjoyed the content, definitely share it. If you belong to any groups or whatever, definitely get it out there. Helps a lot. You guys have been amazing, helping the channel grow. So definitely consider subscribing by clicking the Crypto Savvy logo above my head, and then tick that notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. Like I said, I do post every day. I try to keep everyone updated. Also, guys, smash the likes. Hit the like button. Take a second out, hit the like button, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And with that being said, I'm out of here. Guys, have a great day. Bye.